All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm Todd Rufo. I'm Director of Economic and Workforce Development for the City of San Francisco. Thank you so much for being here today. We are here today to celebrate the grand opening of Noe Valley Bakery here in beautiful West Portal. We are particularly thankful for Michael and Mary Gaston for hosting us here today, the owners of Noe Valley Bakery. And while Mary isn't able to be here today because of a conference, Michael you'll be hearing from in a moment during his remarks. You know, Noe Valley Bakery is special for a couple of reasons. First, hands down, the best almond croissant in the city. If you haven't tried it, you have to try it. But also, they're the first business to open with the help of the city's new Open in SF Small Business Acceleration Program. And the Small Business Acceleration Program was launched 6 months ago through the mayor's budget with strong support from Supervisor Norman Yee and Supervisor Tank. And the idea was that small businesses have a lot on their plate, and anything the city could do to make the permitting process faster, simpler, and easier, and more pleasant was a good thing. And so 6 months ago, we launched the Small Business Acceleration Program, which dedicated a single staffer within the Office of Economic and Workforce Development to help small businesses, particularly restaurants and food-based businesses, because of the complexity of their permitting process, to get through the permit process faster. And so we are proud to have this moment to celebrate Noe Valley Bakery on this big day. I'm going to hand it off to the mayor in a moment, but following the mayor will be Supervisor Norman Yee, Supervisor Tank, Michael Gasson, the owner of Noe Valley Bakery, and then Deidre Von Rock, the president of the West Portal Merchants Association. Now, Mayor Lee is a champion for our neighborhoods and our small businesses, and he's done more than any mayor that I know to support and strengthen our neighborhoods, to invest in our small businesses, whether it's a loan program or neighborhood improvements, to disaster assistance, to permit streamlining. I want to welcome up an advocate and a fighter for small businesses, Mayor Lee.
Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Thank you to the Office of Economic and Workforce Development for all your great work. Your team is doing fantastic. You know, Supervisor Yee was commenting, we never see a mayor's podium in West Portal. Well, I think the staff knew that since we're opening up a bakery, and that's my biggest weakness, that we get the podium right here. So, Michael, you know how you get a mayor's podium. But I also want to recognize Henry Karnilowicz, the Council on District Merchants. He is representing a lot of districts throughout the city. Our Small Business Commission is here as well, as Deirdre from the West Portal Merchants. And I want to say congratulations, Michael, to you and Mary for going through this with us. Sometimes you start new programs and then you don't get all the successes that you want. But I think committed staff, people that understand the vision that while we have some 90,000 registered businesses in the city, 52,000 of them are small businesses. And we impose a lot of regulations on them. So when we're trying to sustain and help businesses, we got to make it easier for them to open, easier for them to get through the maze of regulations, whether it's a health department or whether it's building inspection, permits, plumbing, relationship with PG&E, with PUC and the water department. All of that can take a lot of time. And small businesses, Michael and Mary, they don't have time to stand in somebody's line to get the stuff done. And so that's why the supervisors and us have got together with the funding to put together some serious money to help create a business portal, online ability to accelerate this, working with input and sometimes much criticism for how we did business in the past, but an effort to improve how we do things today and in the future. And so I would like to guarantee every business has this kind of positive experience, but we're going to do better as we develop more things, more forms online. Hopefully we end up in our future to pay our taxes online, pay the other things, so that all the things that should be done without having to go into a government bureaucratic office to be able to get things done online would be, I think, the future. We certainly have the tools and the talent to be able to do that. And I want to be able to do it because we don't just say the small businesses are the backbone of the city. We actually want to support and believe it. And this is how we do it. You take a look at this bakery, some 52 jobs are created by this bakery alone. And on this site, I think 24 jobs, Michael.
Yes.
Yeah, all 24 jobs. So got my numbers right. And this is just, you multiply this to 52,000. What do you got? You got a great economic engine for the city. You got cultural values in this wonderful corridor. And one shouldn't be surprised. I'm down here watching movies, eating with my daughter just this past weekend because I enjoy this place as well as anybody else does. And Katie's going to remind you, she took Muni. Muni is right there, and it is servicing. It's perfect. We also want to make sure we sustain small businesses. And so this is an opportunity not just to celebrate this opening, but to also signal we have other programs to support long-time businesses. We have the Legacy Business Program we just started. We have Open for Business, which another program where there's a lot of construction happening throughout the city. And if your business is negatively impacted by that, we want that input so we can get you help to overcome that period of construction. That's another lesson that we learned because I learned the hard way that we disincentivized whole corridors of our city when we had big construction. That's what happened on Market Street during the building of BART. And we didn't want that to happen with the Central Subway or some of the other things that we do. We wanted to make sure the small businesses survive the good construction that we're doing in the city. And right now, there's a lot of construction. We want to pave the roads as well. And we want to do it all in a fashion in which we don't have people suffering, that we want to really more than survive. We want to be successful. So with that, I'm going to let everybody else speak because the question of the day, how is Noe Valley Bakery doing in West Portal? You can ask that of everybody else. I have not figured it out, but I know I'm going home with a dozen cupcakes, so thank you. All right.
I can introduce you. I want to introduce up your district supervisor, District 7 Supervisor Norman Yee. Supervisor Yee has been a strong partner for the Office of Economic Workforce Development in our programs to support small businesses and our neighborhoods. Through his role on the Budget Committee, I want to welcome up a friend of our work, Supervisor Norman Yee.
Thank you, Todd. One of the main reasons why I'm a friend of small businesses is because when I was growing up, my family had a small business in which I worked in that small business as a family member from the age of 8 years old to 18. And it was a small grocery store. So I deeply, deeply have appreciation for all the families that run these businesses, because I know what it takes, and it really does take the entire family to make it successful. And for all those entrepreneurs that are out there, this is one way that you can make something happen with your life without having a corporation to tell you what to do. So I deeply appreciate Michael and his wife to open up this bakery here, because if any of you lived here for many, many years or grew up here, we all know that for almost 100 years now, we've always had a bakery at West Portal, whether it was the West Portal Bakery that was here for years and years and years, and now we have, it's hard for me to utter these words like Noe Valley Bakery. Can we change the name to Noe Valley / West Portal Bakery? All right. And I'm really happy to be a supporter of the Small Business Acceleration Program. This is a perfect example of how it could be successful, and I really want to thank Supervisor Tank, who really championed this concept at the Board of Supervisors. And I also want to make sure that we give our community acknowledgement for wanting a bakery, not just talking about wanting a bakery, but actually committing $10,000 worth of pre-orders, or what we call, say, we're committed. I don't know how it works in terms of the pre-order, but it's saying to Michael, we not only want you here, we're ready to support you even before you get here, and here's $10,000 worth of pre-order. So thank you for our community members here. And I want to thank also our police captain from Terraville Station. I have 3 stations here. So from Terraville Station, who protects our businesses along the corridor, Captain Flaherty. Give her a hand. And again, one of the reasons why it's successful in this corridor is because of the Merchant Association. The Westport Merchant Association is one of the stronger associations that pays attention to every little business here, makes sure that our office knows about every little detail, right? And thank you, Deidre, for leading that. So thank you. And so right now, should I turn it over?
I can introduce you.
Okay. So again, once again, I want to thank the mayor for his champion on this particular issue. Thank you very much, Mayor Lee.
Thank you, Supervisor. I want to now invite up Supervisor Katie Tang, who's been a tireless advocate for small businesses, but particularly streamlining with her support for the business portal, but also the Open NSF Small Business Acceleration Program. I understand that she actually went through the permit process just to see what the experience was like for our small businesses and our homeowners. Supervisor Tang.
Well, thank you all so much for being out here today. You might be wondering why the District 4 supervisor is here in District 7. It's because we're celebrating a belated birthday for Mayor Lee last Friday, and I got to go buy him a birthday cake here. But actually, about 2 years ago, Todd, Director Rufo, and I were sitting down and trying to figure out how it is that we can really help support our small businesses, especially around the permitting process aspect. A lot of times, the small businesses, when they're struggling to open up or to expand their shop here in San Francisco, when they reach their point of frustration, they contact the supervisor's office. And so we had fielded so many of these cases, and we figured we really need to do something about this. So I asked Todd, what can we do? And so together we thought about, there's this a program modeled off of New York. That is where we got this idea and this concept. Really having a consultant there to kind of handhold small businesses through the process. And Katie, where's Katie? Katie Sherping. Let's give her a round of applause here. Should be up here. So Katie is the first person that OEWD has hired through this Open NSF program, and I couldn't think of a better person to have started that. She was the first person I've ever met who went through all the different permitting process that a restaurant would have to go through, put it down all in a Microsoft Word document, and I think it was 50 pages double-sided, something like that. So our goal is to get that down to maybe 4 pages double-sided, and so we have a lot of work cut out for us, but again, all of it is because we just so appreciate our small businesses and what they do for our communities here. So we can't wait to see more businesses open here, and congratulations, Michael, and to your entire team here.
Now, as you all know, a small business owner pours their life and soul into their small business, and as you've all heard, we at the city want to make sure that they're spending as much of their time as possible at the small business and not at City Hall. I want to invite Michael Gasson up to share his thoughts on the program, but also on this big day. Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Supervisor Yee and Supervisor Tank for all your support, and Deirdre, your support as well. And really thank you to the neighborhood. I've had Noe Valley Bakery, my wife Mary and I, who unfortunately can't be here today, she's at a conference in Seattle. We opened up Noe Valley Bakery on 24th Street 23 years ago. And the neighborhood immediately embraced us, and we hoped that the same thing would happen here. And it's happened. It's just a remarkable thing. The neighborhood has been so supportive, the merchants. It's just been wonderful. I want to also say a very special thank you to Katie Sherping and also to the mayor. The program that we were able to take advantage of, and that Katie really held my hand through the process, and to feel that I had an advocate that was really on my side, dealing with the regulations, a vast amount of regulations, and helping me navigate those waters was invaluable. And it gave me a peace of mind that I could rest assured that while I could get my business open in a timely manner and not incur a lot of extra costs because of lost hours because we didn't have this permit or that we didn't know about that regulation, Katie was really invaluable. So thank you so much for creating a program. I don't know if I could have done it without her. So thank you very much, Katie. And as as the mayor said, we created about 24 jobs here, new jobs, most of them full-time, and most of them are city residents, which is really fantastic. So I want to be in San Francisco. I want to bring back the neighborhood bakery of San Francisco that really doesn't exist much anymore and make San Francisco a really vibrant small town. And strong neighborhood associations like yours, Deidre, here in West Portal, really make that a possibility too. So thank you very much. So again, thanks to the neighborhood. Thank you again for the support that that the city has offered me, and we'll have to get that cake and those cupcakes.
It really does take a village, as Michael has said. I mean, it takes a village in order for our small businesses to be successful. I want to invite up Deirdre Von Rock, the president of the West Portal Merchants Association. Sorry about that. The West Portal Merchants Association, for her incredible leadership and her support for not just this incredible business, but the entire corridor. Deirdre.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Deidre Von Rock, president of the West Portal Merchants Association, and we are thrilled to have Mayor Lee, Supervisors Yee and Tang, and Marianne Thompson and Todd Rufo of the OEWD here with us today, celebrating the opening of our dangerously delicious new addition to West Portal Avenue, Noe Valley Bakery. I was a customer on the very first day, and I have been a regular ever since. Michael and Mary have created a beautiful, warm, friendly bakery that was sorely missing from our neighborhood. I know they were able to do that with help from supporters far and wide, but particularly with the assistance of City Hall programs designed to promote small businesses. And I want to really point out that fact. Not only has this one business benefited from the extremely dedicated advisors at OEWD, but our merchants and neighbors are consistently served by incredibly reliable support at City Hall. In particular, Jorge Rivas at OEWD and Jarlene Choi at Supervisor Yee's office. Our Merchants Association could not do half of what we do without you, and I want to publicly thank you for that. We also really want to thank everyone for coming to our neighborhood today. For those who don't know, West Portal is a small town in a big city. 99 years ago, the Muni trains were extended through the tunnel starting at Castro. We became the portal to the western part of the city. Now, many of our residents have been here for generations. They live in the same homes, go to the same schools and churches. They raise their children and retire here. But we also have brand new residents drawn to our transportation hub, our quiet residential streets, and our thriving commercial corridor filled with neighborhood businesses, such as the hardware store, the yoga and Pilates store, the hair salons, the bars, the restaurants, all the personal, financial, and legal services you might ever need, and now this gorgeous bakery. So if you're exploring San Francisco in search of a thriving corridor to open your new business, if you are looking for a place to live where you know your neighbors, or you just want to visit an undiscovered part of the city, please come and explore West Portal. Thank you.
And now before we get to cakes and croissants, I do want to say a couple of thank yous. This is a team effort, and we couldn't have done this without incredible partnership from a number of stakeholders, both in the city as well as outside. I want to thank, in particular, Tom Hui, Director of the Department of Building Inspection, John Ram from the Planning Department, Barbara Garcia from the Health Department, as well as Regina Dick-Andresi from the Office of Small Business as key agency partners on this incredible effort. In the community, of course, we've heard from Deirdre from West Portal Merchants. We also want to thank Mario from the West Portal Merchants as well, Henry Kornilowicz from the Council of District Merchants, and of course Captain Flaherty from Terrebonne Station. And from OEWD's team, we have incredible staff in OEWD who are working every day to support small businesses and our neighborhoods. Jorge Rivas, who covers West Portal, raise your hand, Jorge, you deserve to be recognized. Incredible work. And as everyone mentioned, Katie Sherping, who is really the person behind Open NSF, the Small Business Acceleration Program. Katie, again, thank you for all the good work that you've been doing on this. And finally, I want to thank Marianne Thompson, as well as Margaret, for their work on today's event. So with that, thank you so much for being here today. Let's go eat and drink lots and lots of coffee. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is a 6-week ribbon, right? So let's count from 6. 5, 4, 3,